In March 2010, Cyclone Paul bounced along the coastline of Arnhem Land in the Northern Territory. It caused havoc among isolated communities and storm surge cut off the roads. Roper Gulf Shire Council were concerned about the town of Numbulwar, so they engaged an experienced chopper pilot, Mark Sullivan, to take 2 staff members with some equipment including chainsaws and a generator to Numbulwar. The tribunal found that the aircraft was overloaded and the proper weight calculations had not been made. Sullivan also didn't follow procedures for carrying dangerous goods, even though the generator and 2 jerry cans contained petrol. The chopper struggled to take off. A low rotor speed horn sounded at least twice while Sullivan was trying to take off. At the worst possible moment, a freak gust of wind hit the aircraft and flipped it. Nobody was seriously injured. One of the passengers had the generator land on him and he was doused in fuel. Technically, this counts as an injury. Sullivan made a report the next day to the aviation authorities, but he downplayed the incident, failing to disclose the overweight aircraft, the dangerous goods, or the injury. When the council worker applied for workers' compensation, authorities realised he was describing quite a different crash. Sullivan was convicted criminally, and then the regulator, CASA, determined he was no longer fit and proper to hold a pilot's licence. He appealed to the tribunal, which supported the regulator. Deputy President Hack said, "Mr. Sullivan acted dishonestly by lodging a report which he knew to be false in material particulars. I infer that he did so to avoid an investigation and subsequent consideration of his conduct by CASA. I reject his evidence to the contrary. In the hearing, he sought to downplay the seriousness of matters and, in my view, did so deliberately. That may be a common enough human reaction, but it does display a concerning lack of insight. These matters satisfy me that Mr. Sullivan is not a fit and proper person to have the responsibilities and exercise and perform the functions and duties of the holder of a commercial pilot's licence." Sullivan appealed unsuccessfully to the full federal court on technical grounds. From this case, we learn that following an aviation incident, a failure to be completely honest when reporting to the authorities can make a pilot no longer fit and proper to hold a licence.